Yesterday, I spent a lot of time with a person that I used to have a lot of great respect for. I've known them for at least 25 years, and I've been trying to piece together how many people came together to perform an intervention in my life. I remember my youngest sister saying, "Oh, we need to do an intervention for her." Now, you're talking about me, a person that doesn't drink, doesn't smoke, doesn't prostitute, has a great mind. I guess they consider me to be out of reality because I truly believe the Bible that all things are possible. So I'm definitely an extremist. My flea market business became very, very cluttered, as did my brother's roofing construction business, but it was looked at differently. I guess because he made more money than me. I'm not sure why they looked at it differently. But back to the person who I spent time with. In my desire to research to see who was my true friend, because nobody came to me and said, "Alene, they're trying to take your children," or "Alene, they feel you can't handle your own life." And these are thoughts that are just moving through my head. When I work to heal myself, I talk out my pain. I say the things that come up in my mind out loud so that people can hear them, assess them, and judge them. And then I find myself empty and feeling whole and happy and in peace. So this is what I'm doing now. I asked the person, if somebody came to you and asked you about my character, would you speak well of me? And the person said, and I quote, "Well, you're not a good person, really. You're very disorganized." I said, "Wow." So I said, "Wow," and I just took it in because I try to be objective and fair when people say things. So I didn't attack and go on the offensive, not out loud anyway. But when I got home, we spent another hour, maybe two, talking, me trying to get information from this person because they have a wealth of information. I started asking myself, you mean you can be disorganized and be not a good person? And then I started to judge the person like, wow, you have all of this knowledge, all of this, and you haven't produced anything with it. I mean, look at you. Look at how you live. Look at where you live. Look at the condition of your body. You're not a good person either. These are my afterthoughts when I'm at home with myself. Even though I felt that, I wouldn't say it to that person because I feel like that person couldn't handle it. I feel like they may physically, literally have a heart attack if I told them that. I think great things about this person and I think negative things about this person. But because I felt like they couldn't handle it, I didn't say it to them. So, how do you determine whether a person is good or not? So, despite the fact that when this person was in the hospital, I got on a bicycle and went pretty much to another city between the bicycle and the bus to make sure that they didn't get taken advantage of, because we both have strong views about the negative sides of managed care and the whole allopathic industry and how they treat you like cattle. Not necessarily negative. That's a negative thing. They have a lot of people to deal with and a lot of people to manage. So they treat everybody with one standard care for the most part. So if you have some special needs, those special needs might get overlooked. When this person was in the hospital and two of his family members were seeking to have him deemed incompetent, I came to his aid. I put myself on the line so that he could keep his independence. When the hospital was not treating him fair because I guess they had deemed him to be mentally incompetent, I called elder abuse. I called Morgan and Morgan. I called two other attorneys that I can't remember the name to come to the hospital and help him. I put myself on the line to do that for him. When he came home and they told him he had to have someone there or he couldn't go home, I said, I will write a letter, tell them that I live with you and you have someone here with you so that they can come to your house and do the physical therapy with you and you can keep your independence. Now, he allowed all of this to take place even though I wasn't a good person, right? And he's helped me in turn. So I'm thinking, when did he decide I wasn't a good person? Maybe the whole while. I've been pretty much disorganized my entire life. No, that's not really true. I don't even see it as disorganization. I'm an eclectic person. So according to this society, work hours are 9 to 5, 8 to 5, right? I may get up and do something from 10 to 4 in the morning. And I might not do it from 10 to 4 in the morning every day. It depends on how I feel. My feelings have a lot to do with how I live my life. If I'm tired and the floor is dirty and the kitchen is dirty and the house is a mess, I'm going to make me a nice, comfortable place to lay down and rest because I've come before the house, the kitchen. If my house is a mess and I'm having company, I'll ask my company to come over and help me clean up instead of spending all of my energy trying to clean up for my company to come. And then I feel tired and I can't really appreciate them. So I'm different from most people and I try to live indigenously. I like walking bare feet. I like digging my toes into the dirt. I like sitting on the ground. I prefer a mattress on the floor as opposed to laying in a bed. I prefer to have a room full of pillows and an open floor plan instead of couch, love seat, tables. You understand me? I would prefer my kitchen to be outside or in a separate room than being in the house. I would prefer all of the electronics to be in a separate room, like if I had to have a stove and I had to have a fridge, put those things in a room, close that door so when I go to sleep at night it's completely dark for the benefit of my pituitary gland. So I know I'm weird, but most geniuses, most people with extreme intelligence are considered to be weird. It's not until they do something that the world considers great that they become elevated. So if you're still in the working phase, then you just look like a nut, a weirdo. And I'm okay with that. Thank you, Anthony Robbins. Anthony Robbins said you have to be willing to push through the negativity and the naysayers before you burst into greatness. Not his exact words. So it amazed me that this person said that to me. When I used to go to his house, I would see him twirling on his belt buckle. Now, I've worked for years reading these books about psycho-cybernetics, how to hypnotize yourself, psychic defense. So whenever I would see him do that, I would put up my psychic guard. But because people strike me as interesting, I was curious, so I never said anything. I never let on that I knew what he was doing, or I never let on that I wondered if he was trying to hypnotize me or anything like that. I recorded everything that happened to me. I pray a lot. I'm talking now and I'm praying. I haven't learned how to pray while I'm asleep, but I was about 26 years old at the University of South Florida, and I decided we only use 10 to 20% of our brain. I am going to use the rest of my life to figure out how to get up to at least 80%, right? And I set out on that journey and messed around and ended up in Africana Studies Department. Hi, Dr. Navita James. I pray all is well in your world. And that opened up a very sensitive can of worms. I was the only one in the class watching the films about the desegregation process and the brutality of white Americans against black Americans, and the water hoses and the dogs and the killing us and hanging black people and burning us. And I would sit in class and cry. I meant profusely, like snot dripping on the desk. I couldn't control it. Now, I was in my late 20s because I came to college a little late. I had a baby. I didn't take any of my athletic scholarships straight out of high school. Went to the local community college and matriculated to a local university, USF. Let's do it. And worked on my master's degree later in a cohort with awesome professor, Dr. Marie Nelson. Hi, guys. I didn't finish yet. But so I was a little older than teenagers who came straight out of high school and went into college and did their 4. So I was an older student. But I used to wonder, why am I the only one crying like this? Why am I the only one? And I learned later that I was something called an empath, and that I had something called claircognizance. And I've been diagnosed with other things beyond that. And I'm being comical when I say this, because when you're a very sensitive person and you can feel people's feelings and sometimes feel what they're thinking, people consider you to be crazy, right? So I'm going to try to make this short because that's what I wanted to say. I could keep going and move into other areas and talk about other things, but I want to make this a short video. I'm amazed that this person told me I was not a good person because I was not organized. Now, maybe they didn't tell me the entire truth, because you know how Virgos are, very arrogant. They feel like you should bow down and kiss their feet, and they are God's gift to earth, right? Go Virgos. But I wondered, okay, well, has DCF come and talked to him? Did he say negative things against me? Did he say any of the good stuff that I did? I know he enjoys my company, but because I no longer bow down to him and kiss his feet, I think he might be a little upset that the little girl in me has moved on to being a woman, and he doesn't want to deal with my woman self. He wants the little girl back. And she comes out occasionally, but she's been kind of like back shelved. Okay? So I wanted to document that. So I did. Peace. I'm going through my mind and praying and asking, is there anything else I need to say? And I sense that there is something else that I need to say that I haven't said. I want to ask this person, have you tapped into my daughter's computer? I mean, we used to use the Wi-Fi when we were over to his place. And strange things are happening to our electronics. videos that I make and upload have been cropped and modified. Words have been taken out. And even though he's old, he's extremely intelligent. I meant a walking genius. Very impatient. And I think that's because his mind moves so quick. Now, mind you, he's never had any children of his own. He never married. So you should have a lot of energy still left. People don't take that into consideration. You have been able to preserve yourself. You didn't have a lot of stress and strain that everybody else who has families, children, husband, wife, that comes with extra stress and strain. And then Virgos are like hermits. They'll walk away and go into their little cave and stay for forever. Well, if you're moving around the inside of a house or inside of an office and just doing your little thing, you don't even come into contact with many problems to have to use your energy. So you should be well kept just by the nature of who you are. And I'm the kind of person, impulsive, and according to the zodiac, I'm half beast and half man. So I kind of am. Things will not be perfect, but if I get a bright idea spontaneously, I will move towards that bright idea and usually get it done. So, divine creator, ancestors that align me to truth, do I need to say more? No, I don't need to say any more. So, I had that visit on the 19th of May of 2022. Today is May 20th, 2022. So I want to talk out the doubts that I have so that it's like verbal meditation. I'm clearing out my heart, mind, and soul, my aura, and allowing the new to come in, or the God voice to come in. Oh, affirmation for myself. Alene, you are mostly a good person. Your intent is mostly good. Your actions are mostly good. You have great restraint even when you're angry. You restrain yourself and you don't go as far as you could to annihilate people's character, physical flesh, or agendas. If you see Alene ranting and raving, she has been pushed, and has no other choice. So that's where I am now.